Warning, this video will hypnotize you, so do not follow along if you don't want to be hypnotized. So I taught a random person how to hypnotize guys and girls online, specifically on Zoom. So here he is, the random person who knows nothing about hypnosis. And here is a hypnotherapist who knows everything about hypnosis. Well, not everything. Okay, he knows his stuff. The only problem is, this guy's in Canada, and I'm in Mexico. So this is Matt, he's a magician. And he's always wanted to learn hypnosis, he just never had the chance.
Until today.
Now I know hypnosis isn't just used for entertainment, it's also used for therapy. That's how I personally use it. There you go. It was never yours to be. But this video is proof that you can do hypnosis from anywhere in the world online. And it definitely has nothing to do with the fact that I can't afford to fly him out to my place right now. So hypnosis, what actually is it? First of all, the question I want to ask you is, what do you already know about hypnosis? Because I know we've spoken before, but I want the viewers to know where you're at.
I'm honestly pretty intrigued by it. I've seen it performed a lot on social media, in person, and both on like the performance side and even on like the therapeutic level of hypnosis. So I'm aware of the different types. I've seen them be done, but the whole idea of how it works or how to perform it is still, you know, a pretty big mystery to me. So I'm hoping to learn.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. I was like, I hope he doesn't know too much. As you can see here, Matt doesn't actually know that much about hypnosis. So this is exactly what I'm going to be teaching him over the next few weeks. But basically how it works is you're just altering their state of consciousness. The unconscious mind is where we actually hold our values and beliefs. So in the therapeutic sense, or actually in the stage hypnosis and entertainment sense as well, your belief right now is that you can move your feet, right? You have no doubt that you can move your feet. Now, when you're in a state of hypnosis, you can just alter that belief just for a moment, because then when you finish the hypnosis, they're able to move their feet again. So the main thing is focus and concentration with hypnosis. If I get you to just stare at something and just keep your eyes completely focused on that one thing, you'll notice that everything around you just begins to drown out. Just stare at that screw for a moment.
No, which one, middle one?
Yeah, the middle one. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in. Let go. Take a deep breath in. Let go. Just feel that calm and relaxation as you breathe, going through your body from the top of your head. There you go. There you go. You can even feel your eyes wanting to blink down and shut down. And eventually, when they do close down, you'll begin to feel an overwhelming sense of peace and relaxation and calm. There you go. Anyone watching this, or even yourself right now, Matt, just put your hands on the table or your desk or wherever what's in front of you, and just stare at something in front of you, whether that's the camera, whether it's a light, whether there's something around the camera that you can just completely focus and stare at now. And when you completely focus and stare at that thing, Matt, you'll notice that everything around you begins to drown out, as all that is in your vicinity is that one thing you are staring at. You can probably even notice your breathing, the sound of my voice, and maybe even how much you're blinking, or how much you're breathing, or how deep you're breathing. You can see it, right?
Yep.
Just by focus. Interesting. So the main three examples I always use are the first one being films, the second one being books, and the third one being driving. Have you ever driven somewhere and gone, wow, I just zoned out for half an hour there. I don't even remember the route I took. Have you ever done that?
Every time.
Effectively, that's called highway hypnosis. That's what we call it in the industry. It's highway hypnosis.
Okay.
Your body's on autopilot, so you don't need to focus on what's going on. Your body knows the route. It drives the route all the time. Hypnosis really is just a formula. If you follow the formula, you're going to be able to hypnotize someone very easily, Matt. So what you'll notice is that I say these things to Matt throughout the whole video. Now I'm going to post the clips here rather than going through the whole thing and then post them, just so you understand that it's all about the programming. I'm subconsciously telling him that he can hypnotize people already. Like when you jump onto Omegle, you just follow the formula. You're going to get someone in a state of hypnosis very easily, as long as you do it with a level of confidence. You already know that with magic as well, don't you? But the simplest thing that I'm going to get you to do when you're hypnotizing people is getting them to follow instructions. So notice how I use the word when, not if, because I'm implying that he will hypnotize people. You know which part of the statement you can use when you induce people into hypnosis.
So what's the real power the subconscious has?
Yeah, can you read that?
You don't need to see the word spelled correctly in order to make sense of it subconsciously.
It actually says you do not need to see the words spelled correctly in order to make sense of it subconsciously. You know the word that it's trying to say. Your mind creates the whole meaning. And obviously, contextually, if you saw W-R-O-D, you'd be like, rod. But because you're seeing it contextually, it makes more sense, right?
Yeah, oh, that's cool.
Hypnotic language, how can you use it?
Watch any videos. Anyone that wants to watch a very interesting hypnotic language session, watch this video up here. This one is incredible that I did with one of the ladies that I hypnotized. And I literally just stared into the camera. As I was talking, she was staring into my eyes, being hypnotized very easily. I would stop, I would pause, and she would relax. And anyone watching this, maybe even yourself, you felt that sense of just relaxation just by what I was saying. And like I said, sometimes I change the volume and I go a bit more soft. And then sometimes I go very quickly and I try and confuse the mind by saying many things at once so that the mind then gets very confused. Because when the mind is confused, you actually open up a state of hypnosis, which allows you to walk into that because the mind is like, whoa, what is going on? I need to take a suggestion. But like I said, if you listen to what I said right there, I paused, I stared, I changed the volume up, I changed the volume down. I went different speeds, I went really fast. And then sometimes when I wanted them to relax, I went really slow. I went more rhythmic and I allowed them to relax. And then sometimes you emphasize some words. So for example, you can feel yourself relaxing now. And as you feel yourself relaxing now, I don't even have to tell you the words that I'm trying to get you to follow. You know, just by how I said it.
So here's session 2 of Matt realizing what hypnosis really is. This is all after one session.
Yeah, for sure. So what is hypnosis out of what I got from our last session? The number one thing I think is, it's not really magic, but it's putting someone in a more suggestive state. I think is the best way that I could define it from what I learned. And just that whole idea of you're not forcing someone down a path, you're putting them in a suggestive state and giving them suggestions, and then they kind of find that path on their own, which I think is quite cool. Number 2, what is hypnosis? It's something that can be used for, I know I said it's not magic, but can be used for magic effects. Is something that I saw a lot, kind of like stage hypnosis. So just kind of covering those whole, like what can hypnosis be used for is kind of what I was getting at. So it's like, it's putting someone in a suggestive state, but it's also something that can be used for like stage illusions or cool effects like that. Cool. And then finally, I think hypnosis, which is really cool, the third thing, is that it's like a suggestive language. So yeah, it's in English for me, of course.
What is happening? Why is it like this?
Because your mind is so completely relaxed.
This is insanity.
Maybe the most relaxed it's ever been.
For sure. I used to do a lot of drugs to get right here.
But it's not like, you know, just talking as you would talk. Like there's inflection of your voice, there's word choice, and there's just so much deeper and so much more that goes into the words you say. So in total, it's putting someone in a suggestive state. It's something that can be used for like effects or stage illusions. And then it's like it's its own kind of language, like a suggestive language in different voice tonalities.
So here's a simple way that you can get compliance.
The yes set questions, why this is so effective is because what you're doing is when someone does something, they feel like they can comply with you already. So as an example, I've done this before with people just to test it out. I remember I was at home one day and my mum came out into the garden and...
Sorry, Mum, I love you dearly, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do. This is my career and all that.
And I was like, oh, could you take this cup inside for me, please? So I literally had an empty cup and I said, could you take this inside for me, please? You're already going inside. Anyone's going to be like, yeah, of course. So you've got one yes. Then I said, oh, when she started to walk away, oh, can you fill that cup up for me and just bring out some more water? Yeah. So she wasn't actually going to come back outside. She was actually just going inside. But because she already agreed to the yes, it was easier for me to get her to agree to something else. Step 1 is pre-frame. Make sure that you get it, explain hypnosis perfectly so they're perfectly aware and they're perfectly comfortable. Then the step 2, getting a compliance test. And the way you do that is by just telling them to do very, very simple, meaningless, easy things that everyone can do. Okay, perfect. Put your hands above your head. Put your hands down by your side. Shake your shoulders out. Take a deep breath in. I'd say aim for at least 4, but you can make a game out of this. So you can go, okay, hands above your head. Put your right hand down. Put your left hand down. Shake your shoulders out. Put them both back up. Put them both back down. And if you're doing this as well, they're going to be more inclined to follow along.
Get rapport easy, get rapport simple, get results.
Possibly the most important thing specifically with hypnosis is rapport.
So as I've written here, effective hypnosis really is starting at rapport. Once you've got rapport, you've got everything. Because like, have you ever been in a conversation and like, I would consider myself a very conversational person, a very confident person, but I've also been in conversations where I'm like, I don't really know what to say right now. And have you ever been in those, and they're just really awkward and they're really annoying and you're like, oh, I just don't like this, really like makes you twitch.
Yeah, I've had those before for sure. It's just like the personalities don't match.
Exactly. And there's things that you can do to build rapport, which builds trust. So as you can see here, rapport builds trust builds hypnosis, because so rapport builds trust in the sense that when you're in rapport with someone, you just naturally trust them. For example, if you're you're from Canada, right?
Yes, sir.
If you were in Germany and you met someone Canadian, you would instantly feel rapport because you've got something in common. Someone could be in one side of Canada and someone could be in another side of Canada. Like, someone could say, oh, I live in Mexico. I'm like, yeah, where in Mexico? And then once you build that trust, then you allow yourself to build a state of hypnosis. And then what hypnosis does, it gives you the suggestible state, like we said. Your fingers are going to stick together, they're going to close, and they're going to stick like magnets. And the more you try and pull them apart, the more stuck they become. You're in that state of mind, which makes suggestions stick better. Then from that suggestible state, so this is more, so now we're moving more into the therapeutic side, but when I say suggestible states allow aha moments, that can also be, oh my God, my fingers are actually stuck. I wonder what else this can do. So just to run through that, rapport builds trust builds hypnosis. Hypnosis gives you a suggestible state. Suggestible states allow aha moments, and then aha moments effectively create the belief that something's possible. So just like your fingers were stuck together, does that now mean that you have the ability for your feet to be stuck? And like we did the other day, just like you have the ability for your hand to be stuck to the table. It's all creating a whole belief, but it all starts with rapport. Have you ever read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People?
I have actually, yeah.
Have you heard of matching and mirroring?
Yeah, that's when like in a conversation, if someone does like this or something, you kind of like mimic it.
Exactly.
And they're very subtle things that you can do, because what you can actually do when you're matching and mirroring, once you've matched and mirrored to a certain degree, then you can do something called pacing and leading. And matching and mirroring is copying them. So matching is, let's say you lift your right hand a sec. Okay, so if you lift your right hand, I'm facing you, I'm gonna lift my left hand. So obviously, like, it wouldn't be as silly as that, but let's say you did that with your right hand, do that with your right hand. So I'm mirroring you. So it's like we're looking in a mirror effectively. And then matching is I'm doing the same thing with the same hand. So it's basically you're doing what they do. Now, where I say more their reality, what I mean is, which I said in the last time we had a session, is things like words, tone and tempo. If someone likes to be really touchy-feely, if someone likes to be more pushed back, for example, words. If someone starts saying, "Oh, this is an excellent," let's say you're going to view a new house. "Oh, this is such an excellent and light and open place," and you start going, "This is an amazing, bright house." Straight away, you're just not using the same words, because amazing and excellent, although they mean the same thing, really, the person may not understand that. And that's not a bad thing, it's just It's just not their words that they choose. So straight away you can pick up their language just by observing how they talk. Again, from body language, you're just observing what they're doing, observing how they're moving. And then also breath. This is a really interesting one. I've done it quite a lot with people, where you can literally just watch someone and just match their breathing. And when you match their breathing, straight away you start to, it just becomes more harmonious. And it literally is like, have you ever walked with someone and you're literally stepping at the exact same time, the left foot, so again, you're just in good rapport with them. That's all it really is. Like I said, finding commonalities, even if you don't know too much about what they're talking about. For example, I know that you're into magic, and let's face it, I don't actually know that much about magic. I've done a few magic tricks, so maybe I know a little bit more than some people, but when I get you to talk about it, naturally we love to talk about things that we love, so we can build rapport quite easily when we just start asking questions about what they do and what they love.
Here's Matt's first ever attempt at really hypnotizing someone. You'll be surprised.
So, hi Matt, I'm here to be hypnotized.
For sure. So, hypnosis, there's like a common misconception that you're either gonna fall asleep or have some huge crazy reaction, but it's actually something more calming. It's a sort of more suggestible state. And have you ever been hypnotized before?
No.
Are you against it, or do you think it's impossible for one to be hypnotized?
No, I would say I'm open to it. I've just never had the opportunity.
For sure. You've probably experienced hypnosis before. For example, have you ever like driven somewhere, and then when you get to the location, like you can't even quite remember like what was on the side of the road, who was watching, things like that. That was a form that's called highway hypnosis. Or like when you watch a movie, and after you come out of the movie, you're just so engulfed in the story. It's just putting you in a more suggestible state. So there's nothing to be worried about, and it'll be a pretty relaxing experience. So we're just gonna start off, if that's all right. And I want you to put your hands like this for me, and just cross your hands, fingers. And what I'd like for you to do is just stick out your two fingers just like this, and leave them about an inch apart. So what I would like you to do is just focus between your two fingers, on the gap between your two fingers. Now imagine as if there's a magnet on each one of your fingertips. And with every breath you take, the magnet becomes stronger and stronger, and it's almost as if your fingers are pulling together. Now imagine that there's a tiny string so thin that you can't even see it being placed around your fingers. It's almost as if someone's pulling on the string, causing your fingers to draw closer and closer together. As you focus on that tiny gap, it's almost like it's becoming smaller and smaller until your fingers eventually touch.
There we go. Whoa, there we go. Bro, you got that. You got that. You see what I had to bug myself out of it?
I tried, man. I don't know.
Bro, honestly, that was sick. You nailed that. Like so there's a few things that I would recommend not to say. For example, I wouldn't use words, do you think hypnosis is impossible? Personally, I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't say, do you believe it's impossible? I'd be like, what's your perception on hypnosis? And then if they say, I believe it's impossible, you go, okay, what is it about hypnosis that you think is impossible? But the things that I want to say that you did perfectly, you use words as if, which is a great hypnotic language, because what you're doing is you're saying it's as if your hands are closing together, or your fingers are closing together, and it's like, oh my god, they actually are. That I would have said that you've done that before, the way that you perfected that.
Oh, thank you.
There was a few things that you did slip up on, but you didn't get caught up on that. Like you said things and you fumbled a few words, but I still do that to this day. But yeah, fumbling it's about how you recover from it.
I think too, that comes with confidence as well. I feel like I could have been just a bit more confident in like the whole process. So yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Of course. But even what you notice is I just said, oh, we're not going to do the hypnosis, but you took me straight to it. So I was like, let's go with it. Let's see what we can actually do.
So if I'm being honest, I'm super proud of Matt in this. He did so well for his first ever attempt. and it just gets better from here.
This is what I call the 3 C's to hypnosis, specifically covert hypnosis. Confusion, command, confidence. Look at where confidence is on this triangle. Imagine these 2 candles, and imagine there's something holding them up, and you wipe away the thing holding them up, they're both gonna fall, right? So confidence really is the base level of all of this. Now, you don't necessarily need to confuse and command. You can confuse or command, but you can do both as well. The most effective is going to be using all 3. So you confuse them, but at the same time you're commanding them.
So here's a real example of confusion at work with the amazing, incredible Darren Brown.
Can I buy some of your soul?
So as you can see what he's doing here, he's literally just going into a store and asking to buy something. A very simple task that you can do.
Thank you. It's a fantastic place. Thank you. You a local? Have you always lived in this area? 20 years.
Now he's sort of participating in small talk, and notice what happens when he starts asking questions and the words that he uses.
20 years, Jesus. Okay, so how much was that? 18.55. I was a bit intimidated by the subway system. I didn't want to go on it, and then someone said, you know, it's okay, take it.
And also don't forget, he's actually having a conversation with him about his life, so he's building good rapport. When you have good rapport with someone, you just trust people much easier.
Take it, it's fine. So
he's using an embedded command here. It's okay, take it.
Take it, it's fine.
Take it, it's fine.
I did, but it's amazing. And you, where did you live before this then?
I live in Staten Island now.
Staten Island, which is just over the water, isn't it? Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, yeah, thank you.
Tell me that's not crazy.
Hi, hello, can I get a hot dog, please?
This is what I want to show you can actually happen as well, because it's not going to happen every single time.
You know, I can find the nearest drugstore. Which one? Okay, straight down there. Yeah, I got a terrible headache. Do you know what's good for you to take so you can just take that and feel okay? What is that?
Obviously, this guy clocks onto it, and once they clock onto it, you've sort of lost anyway, because they now don't believe you. You've broken every rule, and they now don't trust you. Whereas with the other guy, he had great rapport.
You know, my dad's 65. Yeah, and you can keep the change.
Now, this is one of my favourite things when you say something like this. You're completely confusing them, and they're going to go, wait, what?
Whoa, what is this? That's plain. What is this?
I'm sorry. All right, there you go. Thank you. I thought you accepted that here. Thank you, my friend. Kind of interested in maybe one of these bands down here. These are platinum, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very nice. So, can you tell me about it? So it's...
This is a quantum ring with a current length.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already repeating this just one more time. He's just building rapport straight away, first thing. He's got no weird energy. He's just going in very normal.
4,500. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, fantastic. Well, I will take that as it is. I'll give you cash for that.
I will take that as it is. Again, embedding the commands.
Thank you.
All right.
Great, lovely. I'll let you box that up. Thank you very much. What's the nearest subway here? Just on the corner down there. So is that north or south that way? Oh, no. That's west that way. Okay, so that's right, north up there. I've been thinking the wrong way. Thank you very much indeed. So, straight down there on the corner.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. And, yeah, I was a bit intimidated about using the subways here, but my friend just said, take it, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I was a bit intimidated about that, but that's great. So, straight down there. That way down on this corner?
Yep.
That way on that, straight down there. Thank you very much indeed.
So this begs the question, if you can confuse someone to take money, can you confuse them to change a belief or even an emotion?
Like, now try and say that you're angry while you're doing this. It's like, it's virtually impossible to be angry while you're doing this. You're just completely shifting what would usually happen. Like, when someone gets angry, they tend to think negative thoughts. You're just shifting that. It's like they're getting angry and you're associating it with something silly.
That's like, I know too, like they say when you're sad or whatnot, if you kind of force yourself to smile, right? Like it's just kind of like confusing the brain, like kind of tricking it into thinking something else.
Exactly. There was actually a study done. So in the study, participants were shown several cartoons, and then they were to rate how funny they were. And the study was to prove that inducing a smile can make the cartoons that much funnier, or at least by perception. And the average funniness was actually going with this prediction. For example, to the people that held the pen in their teeth like this, you can't stop yourself from smiling. And on a scale of 0 to 9, the average funniness was 5.44. Now the people that held the pen in their lips like this, you're not actually smiling. And the outcome for the average funniness for them was 4.33 on a scale of 0 to 9. And a second study that replicated the pen in the mouth paradigm to force a smile, they were measuring amusement levels. And again, the same thing happened. The people that had the pen in their mouth like this, the amusement levels on a scale of 1 to 9 was 6.43. Whereas those that held the pen in their mouth like this, the amusement levels were 5.4. So it goes to show you that just by tricking your mind, you can effectively change your whole state. So now that you've seen what's possible with hypnosis and how you can teach someone in a matter of realistically 4 weeks how to hypnotize someone, if you want to watch any more of these videos and you want to see how Matt hypnotizes me in a more effective manner, then click this video up here.
So just stare at that gap with all your focus. Now in your own timing, as you start to breathe in and out, on your next out breath, I would like you to just gently close your eyes. So in. Now imagine that there are 2 magnets, as if your fingers feel like they're being pulled ever so slightly closer together.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.